Hello, peace everyone. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Karma, and today I'll be guiding you through a mindful practice of acceptance. We're going to be starting with a 7-minute guided meditation, and then we'll transition into a very gentle yoga flow. So whenever you're ready, you can meet me laying down on your mat or wherever you're practicing today, and we'll get started with our meditation. We're going to begin laying down on our backs in Shavasana, making sure that our palms are facing upwards, ready to receive all fruits of this practice today. And whenever you feel safe to do so, I invite you to close your eyes as we begin to take a trip inwards. Maybe it's the first time you do so today, or maybe in a long while. So be gentle with yourself if you find it difficult to calm your mind. Take this time to become aware of your breath. If it helps you to first begin with controlling your breath, you can do so. Then over time, you can wash away the need to control and just be aware. Becoming a witness of your natural breathing patterns. Allowing your body to do this work for you as you simply watch as your breath rises and falls. Now that we've created a more gentle environment for ourselves, I invite you to unearth anything and everything that may be holding you back from reaching your fullest potential. Whether it be a limiting belief, feelings of inadequacy, any financial burdens, lack of support or resources, the list may go on for you. But I ask that you be specific and honest with yourself. Lay them all out in front of you now. Acknowledge absolutely anything and everything that you perceive to be holding you back from becoming your highest self. Once we accept our darkest shadows, nothing can hold us back. What you see in front of you now are simply tools to become your highest self. Nothing more, nothing less. We must accept these obstacles and rise above them. Take a moment for each obstacle that you've acknowledged and mentally affirm to yourself that this is nothing but a tool to help you become the best version of yourself. Taking a collective inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One last time, inhale and exhale. Whenever you're ready, beginning to open your eyes and return back into this space. Rolling over to one side to come into fetal pose. And once you do, using your arms to press into the earth to lift yourself up into an easy seat. We're going to grab a hold of our right leg here, allowing our left leg to be open beneath us, and just cradling it, rocking right to left. And placing that right leg on top of the left, coming into fire log pose. One stacked on top of the other. And we can lean forward once we get here if this is comfortable for you. And rolling up our spine, one vertebrae at a time, coming back to a neutral seat, and grabbing a hold of our left leg now as our right leg relaxes underneath us, and cradling it, rocking left to right, and maybe even closing your eyes. Placing that left leg on top of the right now, coming into fire log on the other side. And if this is comfortable, walking your body forward to lay on top of your legs. And pushing yourself back up into a neutral seat, rolling up your spine. And you can meet me in Konasana with the soles of our feet kissing. And we can either stay here or we can lay on top of our feet. And once again, rolling up our spine to a neutral Baddha Konasana. And we're going to release the right leg out to the right side, getting a one-legged stretch in. Our left leg stays where it is, or the sole of that left foot comes to our right inner thigh, and stretching over our right leg, using your hands on the ground as a support system, and allowing your head to hang heavy over that right leg. And rolling up your spine and kissing your right foot back into your left and switching it out for your left foot. So that left leg is released now and hanging your head heavy over that left leg. And rolling up your spine once again, and you can meet me in a tabletop position, taking your time to get here. And once we get here, we're going to tuck our right toes underneath us as we extend it to the back of the mat. And we're going to raise our left arm up off of the mat in front of us, building fire in opposing forces. Taking one deep breath here. And as you exhale, releasing back to a neutral tabletop, and tucking our left toes underneath as we extend it backwards, and lifting that right arm forward and up. Taking a deep breath here. And as you exhale, releasing back to a neutral tabletop. If you need to do so, you can sit back onto your ankles and maybe shake out your wrists, stretching them out so that we can return back to tabletop. When you're ready, returning back to tabletop position and keeping our hands planted into the earth, we're going to lift that right leg up and off of the mat back behind us, coming into tiger pose. Creating a straight line from your right toes all the way up to your head. Taking a deep breath. And as you exhale, releasing back down to a neutral tabletop, continuing to press into the earth with your hands and lifting that left leg up and back behind you into tiger pose on the other side. Taking a deep breath, and as you exhale, releasing back to tabletop. Once again, you can sit back onto your ankles, shaking your wrists out if you need to do so, and then meeting me back in a tabletop position. Once we're back here in tabletop, once again building fire in opposing forces, we're lifting that right leg up off of the mat in tiger pose. And once you feel stable here, lifting that left arm off of the mat as well. Taking a deep breath. And as you exhale, release back down to tabletop. Continuing to plant your hands into the earth, lifting that left leg off of the mat in tiger pose. And once you feel stable here, lifting that right arm off of the mat. Taking a deep inhale and exhale, release down onto your mat, coming back into tabletop. Good. From here, tucking our toes underneath us and shifting our hips up into downward facing dog. Once we're here, walking out our feet, getting a deep stretch in those arches and in your calves. And rooting our heels into the earth, coming into a neutral downward dog. We're going to inhale as that right leg comes up off of the mat in three-legged dog. And exhale, bringing that right leg right in between your hands and lowering down into low crescent lunge. Once we get here, we can leave our hands planted on the earth, or we can lift them up towards the heavens. It's your choice. And if your arms were up towards the heavens, you can lower them back down onto the earth and shifting your hips backwards to come into a half split. You can keep your back flat, or you can lay over that right leg. And shifting back to low crescent lunge, planting our hands onto the earth, tucking our left toes underneath us, and shifting our hips back to a downward facing dog. Once we get here, inhaling that left leg to come up off of the mat, and exhale, bringing that left foot through in between your arms and lowering down onto that right knee. If you raised your arms in the last side, you are more than welcome to do so on this side, or you can keep your hands planted. And rooting your hands into the earth, shifting your hips back to come into a half split. Walking yourself back to a low crescent lunge, tucking your right toes underneath you and shifting your hips back to downward facing dog. Once we get here, we're going to walk our feet up to meet our hands in a forward fold. And you can feel free to bend your knees here as much as needed. And maybe even grabbing a hold of those elbows and rocking right to left. And releasing the grasp of your elbows, we're going to bend our knees generously and reach up into the heavens as we inhale. And exhale, straightening our legs, lowering our arms right beside us, coming into mountain pose. Making sure our palms are facing forward. And we're going to take a moment here to close our eyes. Once again, reaffirm to yourself that you are ready to accept anything and everything that is meant for your highest good. I accept anything and everything meant for my highest good. And bringing the palms of your hands together once again, opening your eyes. From here, we are going to step out into a wide-legged stance and shift our arms out to a T, while we also shift our right toes out towards the top of our mat and shifting our hips towards the left, lowering down into open triangle pose. If your right hand doesn't quite touch the earth, that is okay. You are more than welcome to lay it on your right shin or your right ankle. Your gaze is up towards your left hand as it reaches up towards the heavens. And coming up out of this stretch, turning those right toes back forward and shifting the left toes back towards the back of your mat and lowering down into open triangle pose on the left side. Making sure our arms are creating a straight line from earth to heavens. And coming up out of this stretch, turning those left toes back to face the front and stepping yourself towards the top of your mat, coming back into mountain pose. And we're going to shift into chair pose, coming into our sun salutation B. So shifting our hips back as if we are sitting on a chair, Utkatasana. Taking one more breath here. And releasing down into a forward fold. Inhale as we halfway lift, and exhale, folding back forward, planting your hands onto the earth, stepping or hopping back and moving through your flow. Exhale as you chaturanga, inhale as you upward dog, and exhale as you tuck your toes underneath, shifting into downward dog. Taking 3 breaths here. After that last exhale, stepping your feet up to meet your hands in a forward fold. Inhale as we halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. Bending your legs generously, reaching up into the heavens. Inhale. And exhale, Samastitihi, straightening your legs. Good. Once again, coming into chair pose, Utkatasana. Shifting your weight back onto your heels, looking up towards your hands. Taking one more deep breath. And exhale, folding forward. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, folding back forward. Planting your hands on the earth, stepping or hopping back to your plank and lowering down to chaturanga. And inhale as you upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. Taking 3 more breaths here. After that last exhale, walking your feet up to meet your hands in forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward, bending your legs, reaching up into the heavens. Inhale. And exhale, straightening your legs, Samastitihi. Good. We're going to walk our feet out, mat width distance apart, and slowly lower down into Malasana, Garland pose. So our knees are open towards the sides of our mat, and our hands can be in prayer right in front of us as we use our elbows to push our knees out, or we can keep them on the earth if you need to do so. Taking 1 more breath. And you can release down onto the mat in a seat. Good. Whenever you're ready, we're going to shift onto a tabletop position. And once we're here, walking our knees out towards the sides of our mat and lowering down into frog pose. So getting a deep stretch in our hips, lowering down onto your elbows if possible, and closing your eyes once you get here, allowing gravity to pull you down with it. And using the pressure of your hands into the earth, gently walk yourself up to a neutral tabletop. And whenever you're ready, you can lower down onto your back. Once we get here, we're going to prop our right foot on top of our left knee, extending that right knee out to the side, and lifting up your legs as you thread that right arm through both of your legs and grabbing a hold right underneath that left thigh. Gently pulling in that left leg closer as you use that right elbow on top of your right leg to push it out away from you. And lowering your legs back down onto the earth and shifting to reverse on the other side, so that left foot is propped up on top of that right knee, threading your arm and pulling in that right thigh closer to your body as you push out your left knee away from your body. And releasing your legs back down onto the mat and grabbing a hold of our knees, maybe rocking right to left, massaging your back here. And whenever you're ready, releasing that grasp and meeting me in Shavasana. Allowing your eyes to get heavy once we get here until they close. And as we return to where we started in the beginning of this practice, this symbolizes the end of a cycle. Though we are back where we started physically, we are more attuned, more aligned, and more accepting of our truest self. I give you the rest of this practice here in Shavasana. Take all the time you need to bear the fruits of this practice. I send you off with love and acceptance. Blessings.